Hello, hello, and welcome to Awaken Your Human Design. My name is Moni. This is Danny. And for the week of September 8th through the 14th, the sun will be in gate 47 and the earth in gate 22.
47 and 22, I've always said this, the kinder side of rulership.
The softer side.
The softer side of rulership.
Perfect. Thank you to everyone who's watching and liking and subscribing and commenting and hanging out with us. We love having you, and let's get into it. Here we have our mandala body graph view, where we have the sun in gate 47, which is realization, and it is an Ajna gate. And then the earth is in gate 22, which is grace, and it's a solar plexus gate.
Yeah, and it takes up these two totally separate spots that you can't necessarily tell why they go together. Like, why does realization and grace go together? The emotional wave to understand the personal relationship you have with the other and or yourself and be social, and the realization aspect, which I'm sort of answering my own question, but we'll get into that in the next couple of slides.
Here we have the sun in gate 47, which is oppression and the gate of realization. Gate 47 is a restrictive and adverse state as a result of internal weakness or external strength, or both. Gate 47 is an Ajna gate, part of collective circuitry, so sharing is our keynote, and it's part of the sensing circuit specifically. Gate 47 links up with gate 64, which is confusion, and the 64-47 make up the channel of abstraction. Gate 64 remembers a disorganized collection of film clips that pass through its life. 47 receives that, and it's the editor attempting to assemble it into a meaningful slice of human experience. Vacillating perceptions toward different interpretations, eventually experiencing an aha moment. The secret is avoiding the pressure to act on every conclusion. Simply enjoy the possibilities.
Yeah, and you can't act on every conclusion. It's just something you cannot do. We must let the confusion literally pour through. And this is a lot like just allowing the river to run while you sit, by it. It's let the river run it through is the real meaning of the confusion that comes into 47. And it's so interesting because then 47 not only assembles them, but it speaks to something so important. It's an awareness center, one of three. And it's this incredible consciousness making capacity we have to basically create meaning through the act of aha. Where did that come from? Tell me, Moni, where does aha come from? It's this beautiful chemistry we have that allows this to take place. So that's an incredible thing, in my opinion. Talk about random things in the universe. There's a species somewhere that does this. Okay, that's us. And aha turns into the capacity to know what to rule about. This gives the capacity. The question I'd asked before, what do 22 and 47 have in common? Besides being in opposition, 47 drives the aha into what then 22 grounds in this position. In the other position, this would just reverse. 22 would empower what was the aha, but in this position, 47 says, here's now the new way. Even though that sounds like a mutative thing, it's just a realization, a concept, a thing that became an idea. Ideas become stories. Stories get told and they spread across the world. Aha turns into the new way of rulership. If anyone thinks about it, it's no one wants to be ruled with an iron fist anymore. They never did, really. And now we're coming into the consciousness that says we're moving on. Think of the movement we've just had. We moved through consciousness already, and think about the movement on the wheel. 64 moves into 47, which makes a definition that only happens in a couple of spots in the wheel. And so every time you see that, you have to tell yourself, this is an important place in the wheel. And this has, a great deal of meaning as it's going to relate to our human movement one way or another. So 47 is here to give the realizations that 22 will have the manifesting and emotionally clear process of basically bringing into form, and through gate 12, obviously, which can do the thing. I mean, gate 12 might as well be an ego gate in that sense, but 47 does that. So And it's also 47 is a challenging place because all of the time that it's not doing that, guess where it is? It's lost in confusion. And because it can make concepts and realize things, it realizes this is oppressive. And the gate is called the gate of oppression. That's what the I Ching folks named it. So the only way through the oppression is to allow the pressure of the confusion to bust it loose. It's like a clogged drain. You just get enough pressure on it, you push that thing through, and suddenly, aha. And I bet you it feels as satisfying to people who have never experienced it as when you do clear a clog in the drain. That's very satisfying. You have to admit,
Well, it's
whether
like
you're a
blowing
guy
your
or
nose
girl,
when you have a cold or something.
say it again.
When you like blow your nose when you have a cold
Yes.
and it like when it all finally comes out and you're like, oh my God, I can
Oh,
breathe
that's so
again.
good. Yes, right. It's just very satisfying. It just feels really good. And that's what this is here to tell us. We're always on our way to feeling very satisfied and very good. If we can just look at it that way, because that's the movement. The movement is from confusion to realization. And once realized, it's like once I see it, I can't unsee it. 22 comes to the emotional clarity. Hey, once I see it, I can't unsee it. And we all know the capacity of the motor of 20 of the emotional system and the emotional wave to say, I am steadfastly clear on this thing. And it's a steadfastness. So the steadfast clarity of the realization of rulership in the nine-centered way says there must be grace in what we listen to. That we'll get to when we get to 22. And 47 says, I bring the aware concept that fought all the way through confusion to get us there. So we're not confused about the new way of rulership. That's what this says. So 47, I don't know if I spoke too much about what 47 really, all the aspects. You got anything to add to just to gate 47, generally speaking?
Yeah, I mean, I see like gate 64 and 47 are like the channel 64, 47. It's like 64 is like those scattered film clips that are like coming through, just flashing images. And then 47 is like receiving that and then is able to, at whatever aha moment, like is the editor that's going to put them together in a way that makes sense and like a
And yeah,
storytelling, a storyboard kind of way.
and anyone having gate 47 in their body graph should just start to get used to the notion that your aha moment always keeps coming. So just get used to that. The rest of the time, don't let it be oppressive. It's not what it's meant to be. It's meant to be liberating. And so that means, oh, I'm on my way to being liberated. That's how to look at gate 47 when you're not sure if it's too much or not.
Next up, we have the Earth in gate 22, which is grace in the gate of openness, a quality of behavior best suited to handling mundane and trivial situations. Gate 22 is a solar plexus gate, part of individual circuitry, so empowerment is our keynote, and it's part of the knowing circuit specifically. Gate 22 hooks up with gate 12, which is caution, and the 2212 make up the channel of openness. Gate 22 combines the potential of emotional openness through listening with social grace and charm, which is highly attractive to others when it's in the right mood. A dramatically indifferent and sometimes antisocial side may emerge. Recognizing and acting on correct timing is dependent on honoring your mood.
Honor that mood. It's wicked important. And it can be totally antisocial. But the thing is, the grace and the clarity of 22 to know, hey, I'll listen to what this person is saying to me at this time or not. That's what 22 is in the mood for or not. And it can tell it's worth sort of listening to because it emotionally will charge it. 22 is therefore tasked solely, in a way, with receiving what is the emotional clarity of our new way of rulership in a nine-centered world. It falls squarely on 22, and that's fine. There's only 4 gates needed here. So 22, I would say, in a motorized way, has the most to do. I mean, it's got the name of grace, openness. It's not the listener of gate 13. I know I say listening and stuff. It's listening to one other or listening to another thing that empowers you to be in the mood to be social or not. Whereas, 13 is there to listen to all of the abstract history of mankind, you know, as a prodigal. So gate 22 isn't trying to be a prodigal. It's just trying to be social with you. And in doing that over and over and over again throughout the whole world, 22's in the world, You know, tens of millions of people have gate 22 or more, 100 million maybe, and it brings rulership into a graceful capacity to be something that's more correct for our nine-centered way. And in that, it becomes steadfast. If you have gate 22 in your body graph, get used to the fact that you like to basically listen first and then sort of see if you want to interact or in the mood to hear what you just heard. It's allow that in gate 22. And also recognize sometimes you get stuck listening to the other. Don't let yourself get stuck too long. Start to see, oh, that's gate 22 holding me in a tractor beam pattern because the other won't stop talking. That can happen. Just watch that in yourself. You'll find ways to deal with it. Like just tell the other that, hey, I have this thing. I really don't want to hear you anymore, but I get stuck listening, so I'm going to stop listening now. You could try that. That'd be a little brutal, but it'd be true. So that's gate 22.
Next up, we have our Incarnation Crosses for the week. First up, we have the right angle cross of rulership, which adds the 45 and 26. People bringing the past forward with grace who selectively borrow traditions or lessons learned from experience to claim their legitimate right to rule. Then we'll move into the juxtaposition cross of oppression, which adds the 12 and the 11. People who use their understanding of the past to articulate or promote a new idea or concept or replace a present understanding. And finally, we'll move into the left angle cross of informing, which also adds the 12 and the 11. People with social skills who use the past to inspire, to turn people's attention toward the plight of those who are oppressed. This is informing as an art.
This whole movement makes a great deal of sense, and it leads into the cross of Eden, which then leads into the vessel of love. So this is a huge movement through duality, and 47 just helps bring the clarity. And really, if you think about it, clarity and rulership sets the pace. Let's hope we set the pace right this time. Each year, we get given the opportunity to bear a bunch of children that might set the pace, or to live in a transit field where we may set the pace ourselves. One of these days, it's just like an engine turning over to fire up. The fates and the forces are hoping we're just going to get it right. So there's an opportunity to try it like Groundhog's Day, to try it one more time and literally witness how grace defines rulership once the oppressiveness of the confusion clears out. And this whole movement brings us that right through to the cross of informing. It even reads like it. We figure we know how to rule. How do we explain it? That's oppressive. Okay, it's not so oppressive. Let's start informing them. That's pretty good. Leads to a little bit of crisis because of that Eden thing. Oh, well, we're coming on the vessel of love. Everyone's going to forgive everything in a minute. Just go with it. That's what this says in a roundabout, not so roundabout kind of way.
Next up, we have our hexagrams for the week. We have the sun in gate 47, which is realization. In my I Ching book, it reads as confined. And
Confined.
confined, yeah, like being contained.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I get behind that.
yeah. The trigrams are lake over water, and the image reads, lake without water, confined. A noble one carries out the mandate, fulfills her aspiration. The lake water has all drained away into the stream below, where there might have been a sparkling center of vitality, communication and exchange. There is no water left, no energy for communication. Even in such straits, a noble one is still active. The lake water drained downward and inward, merging with the stream in a single strong current. In the same way, a noble one lets her mandate, what she is called to do, flow together with the aspiration of her own heart. The two strengthen one another and create an inner momentum that follows through to fulfillment.
The streams always merge. There's your realization sooner or later. And the containment is really a confinement while the realization is in the oppression stage. So, I mean, those two things are the same. You're confined, you're contained, you're stuck, you're in jail a little bit if you don't know better. And then once you come to know, oh, this is a process, what you come to know is just like every week the kid gets to take a trip to the candy store, so he's psyched. As soon as there's confusion, then there's oppression. Now you have realization. You're going to have it quite regularly. Why don't you get psyched about that? That's what this gives us. And so if you just see it that way, then you realize the streams always merge. And the noble one and the wise one and every other one realizes that to be mentally active is fine and it's healthy and it leads to realization. And just as importantly, it's part of the consciousness field. I mean, this is part of it, directly connected to 64, part of the consciousness field.
Next up, we have the Earth in gate 22, which is grace. And in my I Ching book, it reads as beauty. And the trigrams are mountain over fire. The image reads, below the mountain is fire, beauty. A noble one brings light to many standards, but does not venture to pass judgment. Perhaps the firelight is flickering over the rock face, creating shifting patterns of light and dark. Or perhaps this is the volcanic fire inside a mountain, still dynamically shaping what appears so solid and established from the outside. The inner light of awareness shines through the outer form. So noble one sees all the standards, all the ways the world is governed and ordained from the inside. He understands how things are defined and how standards arise and how many forms of inner essence can take. So where could he possibly stand to pass judgment?
So the mountain is covering up the volcano, by the way. Mountain over fire makes perfect sense. I mean, that almost sounds like, someone trying to explain to the white man, no, mountain over fire to, volcano. It makes perfect sense. And by the way, the steadfastness of the emotional center to know there's a new way to rule is grounded in 22 here. And it is what was the word for grace? It was perfect word. It was beauty. Beauty. Yeah, that's so beauty. You only get to use it once and they use it with grace. I say, and gate 22, it is beauty. The beauty is the emotional clarity to basically be steadfast in how the mountain and the fire will interact. Be it a spontaneous volcanic eruption that destroys everything? No, it does not have to be that. 22 can literally have because it's an awareness center, the awareness to emotionally get clear on not that, essentially, even though that's still mountain over fire for sure. But beauty becomes what 22 is, as the way that was described, as bringing in all the mundane things of listening to the other to find out how rulership is really supposed to work. Think about rulership generally. 22 is very much informed by being connected to gate 12, an individual channel whose purpose is to be the one social voice of the individual knowing circuitry, and therefore the one voice that knows it can empower the rest of everyone else. Just like gate 8, contributions to group goals, or else it didn't make sense. And gate 12 and 22, grace and rulership enacted through manifestation, empowering the tribe, empowering the others, empowering everything, or bust, or it's no good. So empower the new way of rulership through the clarity that comes through the assist of 47 that also gets clear. 2 clarity gates, you don't see that every day. Telling 45 and 26, what the new rules are, because back in the day they had a different set of rules, and we've got a new set of rules coming in. The whole thing spoke to what I think makes for beauty.
So tying it all together, what can we tell our audience to expect, how to kind of see this energy and play with it with the sun in gate 47 and the earth in gate 22?
Let's get clear. You're not the boss until you're emotionally clear, okay? And everyone else is clear with you, because it's still a shared aspect. I just want to get that out of the way, because everyone's going to hear rulership, and I don't want it's a lot, because this is a big topic. So what to expect, or what to be with, or how to be, I'm not sure. Can you say something that I can maybe respond to?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I always start with the earth because it's what we're grounded in. So being grounded in grace from this emotional solar plexus way. So I don't know, allowing our tempers to kind of even out before speaking, before putting that out and expressing it into the world, having the grace and the beauty for ourselves and for another to try to pause before everything shoots out maybe a little bit.
Temper
And
down.
yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I would have never thought to say that. Yep.
Yeah. And then with the sun in 47, so the sun is then what we're able to shine. And so 47 being the realization, which is that the oppression and like the mental pressure of receiving all these crazy images that came through, 2 weeks ago or something, of that 64 energy, and then kind of allowing it to take shape and find its way into like that editing storytelling process. Like, don't try to know all the answers to what happened and what the story was. Allow it to kind of fall into place. So I don't know, this feels really, I don't know, it makes sense, like the earth to be grounded in grace and wait before acting on those emotions. I feel that pairs very well with 47, which is like, hang on, you don't know the whole story yet. The pieces haven't all come together. The picture hasn't been fully figured out and fleshed out and drawn in. So it's kind of like, I feel very pause, like allow grace to, I don't know, wash over you, and don't do anything sudden. Wait for that emotional clarity. And then the story will kind of come into play. It might be a little fuzzy or a little chaotic, but give it time and it'll kind of turn into something that makes more sense.
Allow what Moni just said to be a process for this whole week for you, from the moment it goes into gate 1 and through the second class ticket, I think is 1 or 2 gate,
Line 1.
Line 1, okay, all the way through to the 6. I don't even know what the 6 is. It's going to be some cool transitional thing that leads to something cool. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
See, we're 47's in the sun, but we're talking more about 22, and I'm okay with that.
I know, I love 22.
Me too.
Gate 22, line 6 is maturity, the alignment with experience of form with substance.
Oh yeah, we did this when we did the nodes. That's right. Maturity. I mean, that's the perfect transitioning out of. Basically, I give birth to a new way, and I'm emotionally clear on that. And I'm a manifesting channel. I can make that be an impact. And I am gate 12 connected, so I know I can if I'm in the mood. And I'm the whole channel of openness, a social being, which now I know becomes consequential and will make an impact on everyone else to empower them, all after the clarity. So temper down, wait for clarity this week. Clarity on what? That's up to you. But in reality, it'll be something. And so I think part of the magic and the mystical part of this week, because 47 really holds our dream life in place, would be, you know, connect with what that might be by waiting out the 6 days and then looking back and seeing what was that. Because that's a 47 thing to do, looking back. So it's a long one. It's not do this or get some work done. It's let the whole week go by and then look back, and see if a new emotional clarity comes into your life about something. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it came together really nicely.
Thank you, Moni. I had nothing until you said stuff.
We work together. Thank you for inviting me.
So good. I
Yeah.
feel good.
I feel good. So thank you, Danny. Thank you to our audience. Thank you to everyone who's watching and liking and subscribing and commenting. It all really helps us. We really appreciate you, and we will catch you next week for another transit.
Thank you, everyone. Love you very much. We'll see you the next time.